On this episode, we're going to review the latest ChocoPro event, 157 out of the 3 shows they put out this past weekend. And also, we have AEW Dark with 9 stack matches. Finally, I'm going to review some past events. One was from this past Sunday on the 19th of September, Shine Wrestling with Shine 68, and also an earlier event by RevPro, Opportunities Knock. But also going to give a little small discussion. As you may have heard already, AEW is now partnering up with the Owen Hart Foundation. Now, it's exciting news for pro wrestling fans to hear this, but at the same time, we're hearing WWE loyalists feeling that this is getting out of hand and how could WWE let that happen. But we will talk about that as soon as possible. But right now, let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So let's begin with the latest Choco Pro event 157. Opening match was none other than Too Much Energy, Chiko Shikawa taking on Masahiro Takanashi. Now, this is one of those matches where Chi tries to get on her game face against Takanashi, but however, it was up to no avail. She tried every maneuver she can think of, even every trick, but however, during the match, at the end of it, Masahiro took advantage by leverage himself on the chairs to ensure he picks up the victory, and the ref did not see it happen one way or the other. So, in this case, Takanashi won the match. Now, this next match is, of course, we got Sayaka taking on Yuna Mizumori. Now, I have seen Sayaka how she has improved a little bit more due to the fact that she's a fourth generation wrestler who started alongside with others in this. It was a pretty interesting match, not to mention taking on the beating from Yuna Mizumori because she has a nice voice, but when it comes to wrestling, she is on her aggressiveness. But she was nowhere near match against Mizumori, but you can guess right away that it was Mizumori that picked up the victory. Now, the main event was none other than Chon Shiryu taking on one half of the Best Bros and also Asian Dream Tag Team Champion Baliyan Akki. This match was dead right amazing. I have to say, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Now, mostly for me as a fan who have been watching Gatoh Move, even though if you guys haven't seen it, you would see, okay, you would think Baliyan Akki will get a chance, will probably win this one. But however, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we're seeing more of Chon, how basically he's like the guy who's supposed to loses. But I have to say it was a pretty good. He did his own version of the coffin drop. It's the same kind of move that he pulled off on Masahiro Takanashi on his 18th year anniversary. And it was like a big upset for, in this case, that Chon was able to pick up the victory against Baliyan Akki. But to be honest with you, I don't know if this means with Chon and of course Shuri, known as Dragon Ninja, will they ever get a chance of the tag team titles? Well, I don't know. We'll see what that day happens. But right now, the show ends with the Jackaman tournament. Now, you would have assumed majority of the times you'll see the Best Bros somehow stays in the win, but not this time. The person who won Janken is none other than Chris Brooks, despite the fact that he wasn't actually wrestling, but he was there. But he did a good he did a pretty good job, also commentating on the show when holding the camera. But he actually won for a second time a piece of chocolate, so it was a good. So they did announce there'll be more ChocoPro events coming up. There'll be 3 more from what they're saying. We're gonna end the season right here with them with these. I think it's gonna be the 23rd, 24th, and the 25th. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll keep apprising to all of you on this when it comes clear on their Twitter channel. Hopefully, it just tells me everything. Alrighty then, so we got AEW Dark Elevation. Um, the opening match was none other as Paul White would say, Thunder Rosa. Yeah, taking on against Kai McKenna. Uh, from what they're selling, this is her first time being there, but you can guess it's an easy peasy match where Thunder Rosa wins the match as always, because we know in these type of matches I always have the jobbers being there as the enhancement, and it's pretty okay. The next match we got, of course, the Gun Club. Billy, Colton, and Austin Gunn taking on Leon Saint Giovanni. I think that's LSG. We got Ray Jaws and Anthony Bennett. Now, throughout this entire commentary section of the match, Paul White excluded himself out of the commentary. If you guys haven't forgotten, there was that one time where the Gun Club hurt Billy, attacked Paul White while he was trying to get his hands on QT Marshall. So basically, he has a bit of a grudge against him, but nothing happened during that time. But however, the match did proceeded. It did show the Gun Club are being serious. The reason they are now being serious is that they felt that they're being overlooked, being on Dark and Elevation, that they should be guaranteed a spot in Dynamite. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if the Gun Club in the future will end up in some sort of a trios tournament, because there is talk they want to have a trios tag team division, and I'm down with that as anyway. But they did win the match thanks to, of course, Billy, who pulled off the victory. Now the next match is a very unorthodox match. It's the Dark Order versus Dark Order. One side we got 10 with alongside being with partner up with Allen Five Angels, taking on, of course, Colt Cabana and Evil Uno. The match was pretty good, but I think the best moment is when somehow Allen Five Angels took off his mask and he just all fired up, and he pulled up the biggest upset by pinning Evil Uno. Now he tried to shake his hand, but I don't think Evil Uno was having it. So I think the real question remains with the Dark Order. They need real leadership. Right now, without Brody Lee or Negative One being there, they need someone who can be by their side 24/7. And that's something that they definitely need. Next match, we got Orange Cassidy alongside with Chuck Taylor and Chris Statler taking on Mike Verna. But as you can guess, he finished them off with the Orange Punch, and 1, 2, 3. That is all she wrote, folks. Orange Cassidy won the match. The next match is the Private Party taking on Teddy Goods, uh, George Santi. It was a pretty good match. Of course, it ended with Private Party pulling off Gin Juice. And I forgot which one was the competitor that got the end of it, but they officially won that match. Next match, we got Hikaru Shida taking on Masha Slamovich. It was a good match. It was very interesting, but of course, it was Hikaru Shida that pulled it off with that spinning kick. I think that's what it was. They call it. But it was a pretty good match. Hopefully, and I think she's now has maybe the highest record of wins. I'm not sure. Next match, we got Joey Janela along with that mystery woman who's now been revealed as Kayla Rossi taking on Sunny Kiss. This was a bit of a robbery between both of these people. They hate after Joey Janela betrayed Sunny Kiss. Um, Sunny Kiss has been trying to get his hands on him, but it was pretty good. But it was the biggest surprise that Sunny Kiss was able to pull up the victory, but however, Kayla Rossi attacked uh, Sunny Kiss and broke his back, from what I can see. But we'll see what happens then if Sunny Kiss will get his hands. I was hoping that someone would have his back, but no, no one did. But sooner or later he will. Next match we got Inner Circles, Santana Ortiz taking on Avery Good and JT Dunn. It was a good match, but however, you cannot match the synchronization and the combo moves from Santana Ortiz, and that's how they won their matches, as always. Now, our main event is QT Marshall along with the Factory taking on Dustin Rhodes. Awesome match. It went a lot longer, and of course, it was Dustin that pulled off the victory with whatever he called. I forgot what he called it, but of course, but at the same time, he had to deal with the members of the Factory. Aaron Solo was trying to get in the way, but Lee Johnson decided to give him a helping hand, and that's how Dustin Rhodes won his match. But right now, we can't wait to see what's going to happen on Dark and Dynamite Grand Slam. So that's pretty much it on what I got for AEW. Let's move on with Shine Wrestling. Okay, so we got Shine Wrestling, Shine 68, that took place this past Sunday on the 19th of September in Clearwater, Florida. The opening match was Amber Nova versus Casey Lennox. Now, I was surprised with Amber Nova. Don't remember if I ever seen her somewhere. She comes out in one of those classic Mustang cars. I thought it was a pretty good entrance. I love those type of cars. I like the classic Mustangs. But it was a pretty good match. I think it was a very strong opening match between these two. Amber Nova really, I don't remember if I seen her in AEW Dark, but if not, then, but I'll figure that out some point. But it was a pretty good match with Amber Nova pulling off the victory with the Nova Driver. That's what they were calling it. So she beat Casey Lennox in that particular move and pin her 1, 2, 3. The next match, I don't know I don't know this person, Kelsey Heather taking on Micah Madrid. I have seen her before on maybe once or twice on AEW Dark. It was a good match, but majority of the time I did notice Kelsey Heather was in fact controlling the match, but it was Micah Madrid who picked up the upset, to win the match. I thought it was good too. The next match we got Alex Sky taking on Tracy Nix. Now this was another interesting match. Practically Tracy Nix, she's a bit of a way. She finds ways to cheat her matches. She put something in Alex's eyes to ensure she wins the match, and that's exactly what she did. Now our next match is a title match. What we have is the Shine Nova title in a street fight match. We have the Woad, and then later the champion Natalia Markova. It was a hard-hitting match. Basically, it was more like, from what the commentators were saying, Woad has been trying to get her hands on this title for a long time, even when Markova was the champion for that long too. So basically, this was like a title that eluded her, but finally she was able to succeed in obtaining the title. But however, she was determined to break Markova one way or the other until she was stopped by the return of Santana Garrett. Yes, folks, Santana Garrett made her return back to Shine. From what the commentator said, she was part of the very first Shine pay-per-view back then, and now it's great to see her. But it wouldn't surprise me that her presence, that she might be coming for that title. It wouldn't be surprising for me, since we all know she was released recently from WWE, and she is set to she appeared on AEW Dark tapings. Can't wait to see more of her again. But we'll see when that day comes, if she challenges for the Nova title. The next match we have is ACR taking on Catalina Perez. I do recognize Perez. I've seen her before on AEW Dark, but it was a very good match. ACR was very interesting to me to watch. She did a good job. So she won the match as well. The next match is a tag team. We got Kelsey Reagan teaming with Sahara 7, taking on the Coven, Erica Torres, Harlow O'Hara being accompanied by Vipers. It was a very good tag team match. I think it was the only one they have. I would have expected more, but I'm fine with how things are been. But however, it was the Coven that picked up the victory, but it does not end right there. The Coven decided to take Kelsey Reagan with them. I don't know if they're trying to convert her as part of the Coven. That is a very obvious question, but that's for another time. Now, our next match is Marty Bell taking on Stormy Lee. Now, it appears that Stormy Lee has won the tag team titles, and Marty Bell is looking for ways to get those belts back. But uh, Marty Bell requested for this match. It was a good, hard-hitting match. Did not expect a whole lot, but it was Marty Bell that picked up the victory when she pulled an upset on Stormy Lee. And I think this is the last thing that Stormy Lee needs to deal with this type of mess. Now, our main event is for the Shine title in a steel cage between Allison Kay and Eva Lise, who was the champion. It was a good match. The entire time you saw Marty Bell was outside, but however, Stormy Lee showed up to ensure Allison Kay does not win the title. I think that this is more like trying to forbade them from getting the tag titles back. But I don't know. Sooner or later, they will face Allison Kay and Marty Bell will be teaming up to take on both um, Lee and Eva Lise. But however, Eva Lise remain as the Shine champion. But we'll see what's going to happen next. Okay, the final review we got is from RevPro Opportunities Knox. This took place on the 4th of September, and the opening match is a member of the Legion, Screwface Ahmed, being led by Gildan Gray and of Gideon Gray and Lucius Phillips, taking on his debut match the recent graduate of the Tokyo of the New Japan Dojo, Yota Tsuji. Now, this was a very interesting match. Now, as you know, Yota Tsuji is going to progress. That's the same thing that happened with Shota Umino when he left. So when he went to Rev Pro, and I think it was a pretty good opportunity. And however, it could have gone in the favor of, but I think they're building a story with Yota Tsuji. Apparently, because he almost had the match won, Gideon and Lucian decided to get involved. However, Gideon wanted him to join the Legion, but however, Yota Tsuji won't. The reason it is, I did not mention this before, there was a member of the United Empire that used to be in the Legion, and I'm talking about the Great Okan. He was a member of that group. Yota Tsuji will never forget what happened. So basically, he refuses the offer from Gideon Gray. But however, I don't know if Gideon Gray is going to give up or just beat him down. And it's a pretty good storyline how they're building up with Yota Tsuji right away on his debut match. The next match is another member of the Legion, Chris Ridgway, taking on Robbie X. A great cruiserweight match. I have to say it was pretty good. It did show a lot of characters, especially Robbie X, who is a fantastic wrestler. But it was him who picked up the victory by pulling an upset against Chris Ridgway. And I don't think Chris expected it, but it did. The next match we have Sean Jackson from the group Team, two extremely handsome men or something. I don't know. Authentic men. I don't know. Apparently, Sean is set up to be in a match, and he faced off against, of course, I did not expect it. What's her name? Oh, yeah. Giselle Shaw, who Giselle hasn't forgotten what he tried to do, almost costing her the women's title. But it was a pretty good match. Giselle Shaw did not give up, not to mention when she put him in a submission move, forcing him to tap out like the wuss that he is. This next match is a pretty good one with Callum Newman taking on one half of Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher. Awesome match. I have to say it was pretty good. Now, I cannot. I heard a lot of great things from Aussie Open. They're good not only as tag team but also sometimes as a in singles competitors. I was impressed by Kyle Fletcher. He was able to win the match pretty good, and I enjoyed it. Excuse me. The next match is Mark Haskin taking on Adam Maxson. This match not only took place in a ring, it took place outside the ring. Basically, Mark Haskin was trying to win the match at any means necessary, and that's exactly what happened. But it just ended just completely when Mark Haskin winning, showing how his superiority, and not only that, also him as being part of the most dominant faction, the Legion. Now we got the women's match. We got Hannah Taylor taking on Heian. Another good match. I have to say, Heian is a pretty good a wrestler. Uh, well respected down in the UK, and of course she was the one who picked up the victory, and she showed a lot of respect to Hannah Taylor, and I'm very excited for that. Our main event is for the RevPro undisputed British tag team titles. We have the Locust Jim, Locust Kid, Locust Kid 2 taking on Destination Anywhere, Everywhere, I think, taking on Connor Mills and Michael Oku. Great match. It showed a lot of tremendous what they were doing. You know, these guys are great. Had some a little bit of the cruiserweight style into this match. Played out pretty well. But however, it was Destination Everywhere that won this one completely, and I was so happy. But the real question is, who will be their lucky competitors for those tag titles? And we are going to wait and see when that day really, really happens. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do before I call off this episode right now, as you may have heard, AEW are now partner up with the Owen Hart Foundation. And this is great news, and I have to say it played out pretty well, very classy. Not only Tony Khan is a mark on pro wrestling, he's also a historian. And of course, they made this official announcement. Let me pull it up on my phone because this is the statement that they posted early in the morning on Twitter. So here's what they had to say. Um, All Elite Wrestling and the Owen Hart Foundation, a non-profit charity which provides a vast range of assistance and opportunities to individuals in need across the world, are collaborating in the honor of the late wrestler Owen Hart, a beloved figure in the pro wrestling community and beyond. This collaboration includes launching the annual Owen Hart Cup tournament within AEW, which which will see the winner receive a cup known as the Owen, as well as the production distribution of the unique and original Owen Hart merchandise, including specified retail goods, uh, as well as the upcoming AEW console video game. So this is very interesting to hear, and of course, Dr. Martha Hart, the widow of Owen Hart, also put out a statement as well. Let me pull it up for all of you. I think this is it. Yeah, this is what she had to say. The Owen Hart the Owen Hart Foundation is extremely pleased to partner with AEW in this wonderful joint venture to honor Owen's substantial international wrestling career and the lasting influence he and his craft had in the sport. AEW's Owen Hart's Cup tournament serves as a tremendous tribute to Owen, provides a incredible way for professional wrestlers to enthusiasts to celebrate his work in the most fitting way. We trust that Tony Khan and his amazing AEW team will do a brilliant job with this highly anticipated project. So basically, both sides are excited for this partnership to happen. However, it appears WWE loyalists are not too thrilled. Um, One of my friends actually found this Twitter from a loyal, put it on his Facebook from a Twitter page from some WWE loyalist. Let me pull it up for all of you. That way I can show you what exactly this guy said. Where is it? Let's. Here it is. This is what this guy named 41 Savage said. I hope Vince sues AEW for every dollar they are worth. Using Owen Hart like this is just taunting WWE. His family is sick for agreeing to this. He was a WWE guy no matter what. Now, I can say I agree with this guy on that level. He is a WWE guy, but there's a factor to this that is being how do I say, not being observed. As you know, Dr. Martha Hart has no love lost for WWE whatsoever. She blames them for what happened to Owen Hart. Now, as long as WWE are refusing to acknowledge what happened to Owen Hart, to take responsibility or accountability for what happened, this is how it's going to go down. Basically, she's trying to prevent from WWE from ever using the name. Now, for all you WWE loyalists who are watching this, keep in mind, if you want Owen Hart to be part of the WWE bandwagon, make a petition. Tell WWE, just say you're sorry. Just take responsibility. If for some reason they refuse to do that, that's on them. So basically, you can say all you want that that makes you sick to your stomach that a wrestler who was on WWE's history is now being used on AEW. Well, it's not AEW's fault. Basically, Tony Khan is trying to preserve his memory and legacy. I don't see WWE doing that. Now, you can hate me for saying all these words, but it's the truth and fact. But it is what it is, and there's nothing you guys can do about that. I can't do nothing about it, but all we can do is celebrate the life and memory of one of the most incredible wrestlers we have seen over the years. And it's sad that he's not here on this earth, but all we can do as fans, especially those who been around as kids watching WWE, is to preserve his memory and, of course, his legacy. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really, really enjoyed everything, especially talking about Owen Hart and reviewing every wrestling event that we managed to get our hands on. But for the upcoming episode, we do have NWA Power, AEW Dark, NXT 2.0. But I will throw in a independent show from this group called New South Pro Wrestling with their New South Americana show. And this is going to be a very interesting thing to review. But as for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang!